49ers OTAs are underway this week from the SAP Performance Center in Santa Clara. And coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports, I'm Chase Sr. We're going to take a look at the top 10 players to watch at Niners OTAs. Here is the Niners offseason schedule as of right now, and that does include all of the OTA sessions, May 20th and 21st, so yesterday and today, Monday, Tuesday, depending on when you're watching. A day break, May 22nd, that the Niners are back in session May 23rd, and then they have a little bit of a gap until May 28th, May 29th, where OTAs get underway and pick back up, and then another small break, May 31st, is when it all wraps up, and then mandatory minicamp gets underway from June 4th through the 6th. In Santa Clara in Northern California. As of right now, we do not know when Niners training camp is going to take place. This is how it goes every single year. The Niners want to see how OTAs go, see how minicamp goes, and then they figure out what makes sense from a logistical standpoint. And as far as the 2024 schedule goes, when to hold training camp hasn't been announced, but usually, historically, late July is when Niners training camp will begin. With that, let's take a look at my top 10 players to watch during OTAs. And I want to begin with safety Talanoa Hufanga. We're not sure if he's going to be on the practice field, but is he going to participate in OTAs? That's the question. If not, how is the recovery coming along from that torn ACL last year? And if he doesn't partake in these OTA practices, do we get an update as to what the timeline is going to be? As for when Hufanga could come back, because he suffered that torn ACL early in the season last year in 2023. I'm intrigued to see the safety position, how it works out. I really like how Jair Brown was able to play in replacing Hufanga, who went down with that knee injury. Jair Brown, a third-round pick in the 2023 draft out of Penn State, comes in and immediately made some really marquee plays for that Niners defense. And in the Super Bowl, intercepted Patrick Mahomes. I like the instincts. I like the athleticism. But who's going to start opposite of Jair Brown? You would think if Hufanga is healthy, it's going to be him for sure because he was a first-team All-Pro 2 seasons ago. Unfortunately, that knee injury derailed his campaign last year, but San Francisco also drafted Maliek Collins out of Wake Forest in the draft this year, and they are said to be in love with Maliek Collins, a really good bulked-up athlete with some good size, good range, can play center field safety, but he's also a diverse player with a diverse skill set who can play in the box, a little bit of slot nickel, hybrid linebacker, and be used as a Swiss Army knife at that safety spot. Coming in at number 9 is Niners linebacker DeVondre Campbell, formerly of the Green Bay Packers. This is a guy who was a first-team All-Pro a couple of years ago, and after Eric Kendricks decided to leave the Niners and signed with the Dallas Cowboys, who poached him away from San Francisco, the Niners kind of had to find out and figure out who was going to be the holdover option for Dre Greenlaw, who's coming off a torn Achilles. And Dre Greenlaw admitted a week or two ago that he could miss several games to start the 2024 season, and DeVondre Campbell could take his spot in that starting lineup under first-year defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen. For Campbell, hasn't played well the last couple of years since being that first-team All-Pro a few years ago with Green Bay, and he goes through one practice with San Francisco, and he tweets this out. "I can't even lie, I'm having so much fun playing football again. The situation I was in was making me lose my love for the game, but I'm back having fun again, and I love that for myself. Thank you, God." So the translation there, he did not enjoy his stint with the Green Bay Packers at least the last couple of years, and earlier this offseason after he signed with the Niners, he did indicate he disagreed with how he was used in that Packers defensive system and that Packers defensive scheme. They did change defensive coordinators. Jeff Hafley who was the head coach for Boston College, is now working under Matt LaFleur as their new DC, but he's let go by Green Bay, picked up by San Francisco, and depending on how long it takes Dre Greenlaw to come back off that torn Achilles, Campbell could play a sizable role. And I'm always of the belief that players who are reinvigorated, who are recharged, who are more mentally happy, that can translate and result in them playing better. That would be a great thing for this Niners defense in 2024. At number 7, the newly acquired Maliek Collins, who I think the acquisition of him via trade for San Francisco fell under the radar a little bit. And it's understandable why. The Niners let go of Arik Armstead, a team captain from Sacramento, a marquee player for this organization for several years. He was one of the longest tenured Niners on this roster, the last remaining player under Trent Baalke, who drafted him, and was the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee for the Niners, and just a focal point in that Niners locker room. So when you lose a player who's so well known and you replace him with Maliek Collins, who a lot of people are not familiar with this game, the acquisition of Collins, because the Niners surrendered, a 7th-round pick for him, it fell under the radar. But he's going to play a sizable role on the interior of this Niners defensive line this upcoming season. In the last 2 years, Collins has been more available, more durable, and more productive as compared to Arik Armstead. Different body type, according to the Pro Football Focus number. Sometimes he does struggle against the run, but I actually think he's better against the run than what the PFF numbers show. And because of that, could he be a better scheme fit for San Francisco? There isn't a lot of trench play in OTAs because there's not a lot of contact, but I just want to see what Maliek Collins looks like last year. 16 games played with Houston, 41 tackles, 5 sacks, 8 TFLs, 18 quarterback hits. He really thrived under former Niners defensive coordinator DeMeco Ryans. And then there's Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd is a player who I'm so intrigued by for a multitude of reasons. He takes over for Chase Young. I think he's a better scheme fit than Chase Young. He's been a more consistent player than Chase Young. And I think he's a better edge rusher and better player against the run. And that's what the Niners really wanted to emphasize this offseason, is having players who fit their culture, who are dogs, who have swag, confidence, but they wanted to get better against the run game because last year they were gashed. And some of their free agent hauls and acquisitions point to the fact that they thought that their run defense held them back last year. And Leonard Floyd, consistently available, consistently productive. He's played, including the postseason, in more than 100 consecutive games. And you look at the sack production over the last 4 years. He's getting it done in pinning his ears back and getting after the quarterback. 2020, 10.5 sacks with the Rams. 2021, 9.5 sacks. 2022, 9 sacks. And then last year with Buffalo, 10.5. You're really going to enjoy his speed, the elusiveness that he has, the fast first step, the bend that he has coming off the edge, but the ability to set the edge. And unlike Chase Young, he has a great motor. And he's always going to be giving 110%, and that's evidenced by some of the pursuit plays. So we've gone through Talanoa Hufanga at number 10, DeVondre Campbell at number 9, Maliek Collins at number 7, or at 8, Leonard Floyd at number 7, coming in at number 6 here is Chris Hubbard, the offensive tackle for the Niners. And is Chris Hubbard going to have an opportunity to realistically compete with Colton McKivitz to be this team's right tackle? McKivitz struggled mightily last year. He gave up 47 pressures in the regular season. And then in the playoffs, he struggled once again. In 3 playoff games, he gave up 12 more pressures. And Hubbard is a player who's been a serviceable veteran for a long time. He's older. Last year with Tennessee, played well before a torn triceps injury landed him on season-ending IR. Overall Pro Football Focus grade of 69, better than McKivitz. Pass blocking grade of 67.8, better than McKivitz. And then a run blocking grade of 64.1, 0 penalties, that's good. He did give up 4 sacks, 4 hits, 18 pressures allowed, all of his snaps coming at that right tackle position. The Niners did give Colton McKivitz that contract extension through the 2025 season, but you can look at that as swing tackle money. And for Hubbard, to get a player this late in the offseason, in May, it's a pretty good acquisition because if he's not the starter, he's a really good backup option because Brandon Parker, who was the backup option behind McKivitz, simply is not good. And if McKivitz does start, you're comfortable that Hubbard can step in and play solid football. Or can he compete with Colton McKivitz and beat him out? It's an intriguing offseason storyline for the San Francisco 49ers offense. With that, let's pop up today's poll question. This will be the pinned comment as well. Which player are you most excited to hear about at 49ers OTAs? Let me know down below in the comment section right now. It could be a player who we've talked about here on the show or another player who either we haven't gotten to yet or aren't getting to at all because Malik Mustafa, another rookie who I'm really looking forward to, Shaquille Brown, a second-year player who impressed so much during rookie minicamp that he landed a contract. Let me know right now down in the comment section. Do want to welcome a brand new sponsor here on board on the San Francisco 49ers Report. That is Chubbies. You can get 20% off your purchase at chubbyshorts.com/chat. The first photo, I was rocking one of their swimsuits. Here in this photo, I'm wearing a Chubbies shirt and then some really nice shorts that you can wear on the golf course, out on a date, getting some drinks with some of your friends, or at work, depending on what the dress code is in between the walls of your workspace. And getting 20% off is a fantastic deal. Sky's out, thighs out. Summer is right around the corner, and our friends at Chubbies are bringing the good vibrations. Chubbies is a lifestyle apparel brand that makes every moment feel like a vacation. They say fashion is an expression of one's character. So why not let the world know you're down for a good time? I'm always down for a good time, drinking a beer by the fire, smoking a cigar by the fire, going for a swim, hanging out with some friends by my pool like I'm doing right here, chopping it up. And Chubbies offers a variety of high-quality men's apparel from super stretchy shorts and swim trunks in 3 short inseam lengths to pants, polos, and button-down shirts for when you need to hit up your favorite weekend brunch spot. Here I went to a Texas Rangers game, rocking some Chubbies gear. Embrace the spirit of endless summer with Chubbies, the ultimate destination for bold, vibrant, and outrageously comfortable clothing. And listen up, for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners and our viewers 20% off your order with our exclusive code. All you have to do is use the code CHAT at chubbyshorts.com/chat. We're going to put this link down below in the show notes as well as in the comment section of this video and attached to the pinned comment of today's San Francisco 49ers Report. All right, coming in at number 5. I had trouble with the math on the order a little bit earlier, but as the real ones know, I failed elementary algebra at Temple University, so I'm not always smart when it comes down to math. At number 5, Isaac Guerendo, the running back who the Niners traded up for out of Louisville. Before Louisville, he played at Wisconsin. I think he has a realistic opportunity here to challenge Elijah Mitchell for RB2 carries. And his athletic testing numbers in the pre-draft process, I'm not kidding when I say this, nearly perfect. And in a couple of my mock drafts, I talked about Isaac Guerendo, why I really like him, and we were amazed in looking at the relative athletic scores, how he tested a 9.99 on a scale of 0 to 10. Now, he's tall, he's 221 pounds, and at 221 pounds, he was able to clock a 4.3 40-yard dash. He's a one-cut runner, outside zone scheme fit. He's a good pass protector, and he is capable of catching the ball out of the backfield. I want to see if all of that translates to the NFL level here during OTAs. A fellow rookie checking in here at number 4, and that's Dominick Puni, the third-round pick out of Kansas, who was one of 3 left tackles in college football last year to log more than 700 snaps and not surrender a sack. I think that his best days are ahead of him as an offensive guard at the NFL level. Does he have a chance to start? Last week on the show, I went through 10 different offensive line combinations. You can try Puni at the tackle spot. He played both throughout his college career. He also played some guard too. So he has positional versatility. Some people think that he could play center, which he didn't do at the college level. Where the Niners have him playing, and on what string of the offensive line do they have him starting off at? First string, second string, third string? Very curious to find out. Coming in at number 3 is the second-round pick, Renardo Green. He's going to become a fan favorite for a lot of Niner fans out there because this is a player who plays aggressive, has swagger, has physicality to his game. He has a relentless pursuit when playing too. Thrives in playing press man coverage. Will Nick Sorensen allow him to do that? Now, Nick Sorensen, in his introductory press conference, did say that Renardo Green, who played a lot on the outside and mostly outside at Florida State, 5-year college player, is going to start off on the inside. Now, that tells me that San Francisco is comfortable with going with Charvarius Ward and Diamador Lenore as the outside cornerbacks for this football team. So is Renardo Green going to start off as the starting slot corner for San Francisco as a rookie? Plenty of experience at the college level, as we've talked about plenty, and as I just alluded to, and I think his toughness can translate to him getting significant snaps right from the jump in addition to that experience. At number 2, Brandon Aiyuk. He is not expected to be on hand for Niners OTAs, and with minicamp quickly approaching, even though it's mandatory minicamp, Brandon Aiyuk might not show up for that, because there's a little bit of a contractual standoff here. According to reports, Aiyuk and the Niners not close on reaching a contract extension, and he's not expected to attend OTAs. And I've seen a lot of people say this, that if he doesn't attend mandatory minicamp, he's going to be subjected to a bunch of fines. The team can decide whether or not they want to fine a player. They did not fine Nick Bosa ultimately. I doubt that if Brandon Aiyuk holds out, that they fine him. You don't want that bad blood. And a lot of you expected this to be the case. But Ricky Pearsall is my number 1 player to watch at Niners OTAs for a multitude of reasons, and we could probably do a whole show on why I'm excited to see Ricky Pearsall partake in some of these practice sessions. Will he get some first-team reps out of the slot alongside Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk? If Aiyuk does not attend OTAs, does Pearsall get first-team reps? Or out of the slot, is it just going to be Jawan Jennings? We know how Kyle Shanahan, who was a wide receiver in college, is hard on young wide receivers. He believes that allows them to maximize and become better players down the road and learn the ropes of what is required to be a wide receiver in this complex system. Number 2, how does he hold up physically? He was a little bit of a smaller player at Arizona State and at Florida. Can he beat press man like he did at the college level? And does that translate to the NFL level? The get-off, the footwork, is that going to be able to play? Because at Florida, at Arizona State, he dominated the middle area of the field. But by NFL standards, he's kind of an average size athlete. His testing numbers were really good. Short area quickness, the spider chart, the vertical leap being north of 40 inches, all of that is great. I want to see if that translates and how it translates against NFL competition. And with that, at rookie minicamp, he was catching passes from some scrub quarterbacks. Is he going to be able to catch some passes from Brock Purdy? If that is the case, can he develop a rapport with Brock Purdy? And if he's able to do that, and he beats press man, and the footwork, the route running, the reliable hands, all of these things do translate to the NFL level. Is he going to be too good and too productive for the Niners to sit him? He's a first-round pick. You want to reap those dividends and get that production as early as you can. So if he shows up and balls out, I don't think the Niners are going to be able to keep him off the field. And then lastly, you lose Ray McCloud in free agency to the Atlanta Falcons. Right now, your punt returners, Trent Taylor, Ricky Pearsall. I think that they're going to be competing for that spot. Will Pearsall, who did not muff a punt at Florida, get opportunities to return some punts? Be sure to subscribe to the channel. We do all types of content here on the show. My goal is to provide you, the listener, the viewer, the subscriber, the real one, with informative, entertaining, insightful analysis. We do news. We do analysis. We do rumors. We interact with all of you. Hit that sub button. And as you can see, 105 people away from continuing to grow the Niner empire here at Chat Sports of 133,000 subscribers.